Ladies and gentlemen, NFL fans, Cowboys Nation, stop what you're doing because we've got breaking news shaking up the football world. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. This is not a rumor. The deal is done. You heard it here first. Sidney Brown is officially a Dallas Cowboy. That's right, the star defensive back, one of the brightest young talents in the league, is packing his bags and heading to Big D. And folks, this move might just change the entire trajectory of the Cowboys season, maybe even the NFC itself. I'm telling you now, this is the kind of deal that makes headlines for weeks and gets remembered for years. This is not just a depth chart shift, this is a statement. The Dallas Cowboys just pulled off one of the most significant defensive acquisitions of the season, and I'm here to break it all down for you: what it means, why it happened, what Dallas gave up, what they're gaining, and why the rest of the league should be paying close attention right now. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's talk about who Sidney Brown is and why he's such a big deal. Sidney Brown is not just another safety. He's a game changer. Known for his insane athleticism, aggressive tackling, and high football IQ, Brown has become a player that offensive coordinators have to plan around. He has this fearless energy, a kind of controlled chaos on the field. When he plays, it's with intensity, urgency, and impact. Brown is the type of player who can blow up a screen pass, drop back in coverage, and even blitz off the edge all in the same drive. He brings versatility, something the Cowboys have desperately needed in the secondary. And let's not forget the Cowboys' defense has been strong, but they've had vulnerabilities in the back end, especially when it comes to matching up with elite receivers and tight ends. Brown is a player who doesn't just fill a hole, he closes gaps, he raises the floor, and he lifts the ceiling of this defense. He was a rising star on his previous team, already earning praise from analysts, coaches, and players across the league. And now, he's bringing all that firepower to Dallas. Let's talk about the magnitude of this deal. This isn't a small free agent pickup. This is a full-blown trade, and from what sources are indicating, the Cowboys had to make some serious moves to get this done. They've clearly had their eyes on Brown for a while now. This wasn't a reactionary move, this was planned, calculated, and executed with purpose. The front office saw an opportunity, and they took it. Now, we don't yet have the full details on what was exchanged, whether it was a combination of draft picks, a player or two, or a contract restructuring, but what we do know is that the Cowboys prioritized Brown because they believe he's the missing piece. A lot of fans have been calling for this kind of bold move, something that signals Dallas is going all in, that they're not content with just making the playoffs or coasting in the NFC East. This move screams urgency, and I love it. I absolutely love it. From a roster standpoint, this is massive. Think about the players already on this defense: Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, DeMarcus Lawrence, and now boom, you drop Sidney Brown into that mix. That's an elite-level core right there. Brown adds a dynamic element that can allow Dan Quinn or whoever is calling the shots on defense to get creative. You want to run more nickel? Go for it. Want to disguise coverages? Perfect. Want to send safeties on blitz packages? Brown's your guy. He's smart, fast, and fearless. He's the kind of safety that gives you options and flexibility. And here's the kicker: he's still so young. This isn't a one-year rental. This is a potential foundational piece for years to come. The Cowboys didn't just make a short-term upgrade, they invested in the future of their defense. Now, let's talk about what this means for Sidney Brown. Imagine going from playing in a crowded, inconsistent system to stepping into one of the most iconic franchises in the league. The bright lights of AT&T Stadium. Primetime games. National attention. Legacy. Pressure. Opportunity. It's all there. And Brown? He's the type of guy who thrives in that environment. You can just tell. He's got the mindset, the toughness, and the drive. I think he's going to embrace this move with everything he's got. This could be the beginning of the next phase of his career, the phase where he doesn't just make highlight plays, but where he becomes a household name. Think about what happens if Brown plays like we all know he can: Pro Bowl nods, endorsements, possibly even All-Pro conversations. This move could unlock everything for him. But let's not forget the bigger picture. The Cowboys aren't just doing this for hype or headlines. They're making a push. They know the NFC is wide open. The Eagles have been strong, yes. The 49ers? Still dangerous. But the Cowboys see a window, and they're trying to kick it wide open. If you look at how the season has gone so far, the highs, the lows, the inconsistencies, one thing has been clear: this team is talented, but they've needed a spark. Sidney Brown could be that spark. He brings fire, leadership, energy, and production. He's the kind of player who can swing momentum, who can make a third down stop or force a fumble that changes the course of a game. He's not just a player, he's a playmaker. And in tight games, and must-win situations, and playoff battles, that's exactly what you need. Of course, with every blockbuster move, there are risks. Let's be real. Every trade comes with question marks. Will Brown stay healthy? Will he adjust to the system quickly? Will he have chemistry with his teammates? Those are fair questions. But here's the thing: the Cowboys aren't playing scared. They're betting on their coaches, their locker room, and on Brown's talent. And honestly, if you're going to gamble in the NFL, you want to bet on guys like Sidney Brown: high upside, proven production, and a hunger to prove himself. I respect this move not just because of what it brings to the team, but because of what it says about the Cowboys' mindset. They're tired of falling short. They're tired of excuses. They're going for it, and that's exactly the kind of energy fans have been craving. And let's talk about the ripple effect. This trade is going to make waves. Opposing teams are going to take notice. Offensive coordinators around the league are already looking at tape, trying to figure out how to game plan against a secondary that now includes Sidney Brown. It changes matchups. It changes play calling. It forces teams to adjust. That's what great players do. They don't just help their team, they force other teams to rethink everything. And for the Cowboys, this could be the start of something big. Momentum matters in football. Locker room morale matters. A move like this sends a message to every player on that roster: we're not waiting, we're not hoping, we're making things happen. That mentality? That can shift a season. I know fans are going to have mixed feelings depending on what Dallas gave up in the trade. And yeah, if the compensation includes future high draft picks or a valuable player, there might be a debate. But let me be clear, this is a win-now league. You don't get trophies for having the best cap space or the most future picks. You get rings by being bold. You get rings by adding real difference makers. And Sidney Brown is a difference maker. This move is a sign that Dallas is chasing greatness, not just playoff berths or division titles, but greatness. And if Brown performs like we expect, this trade could go down as one of the smartest moves Dallas has made in a long time. So what happens next? Well, first we wait for the official presser. Brown will likely speak soon, maybe within the next 48 hours. The Cowboys will probably roll out their standard welcome video, maybe show him in the new uniform, and I'm sure social media will go nuts. But more importantly, we'll be watching how quickly Brown gets integrated into practices, how he clicks with the defense, and how soon he gets starting reps. I wouldn't be surprised if he's active and making plays within his first 2 games. The guy is a football junkie. He studies tape, he picks up schemes quickly, and he doesn't shy away from the spotlight. So, Cowboys fans, are you hyped yet? Because you should be. This is the kind of move that gets the locker room buzzing. It fires up the fan base. It ignites hope. And in a league where every inch matters, every player matters, and every decision counts, this is a massive step forward. Welcome to Dallas, Sidney Brown. The star is shining a little brighter tonight, and something tells me this story is just beginning.